Okay, guys, we were talking about application of mathematics in practice situations. Okay. Actually, in real life, in daily life, actually, a lot of things, it depends on our intention. For example, let's say before you go to bed today, if you make a plan, okay, tomorrow morning I will wake up at 8 o'clock. After that, I will have my breakfast. And at 9 o'clock, from 9 to 10, I will study math. After that, I will study my book. After that, maybe I will hang out with my friends and I come back home and blah, blah, blah. If you just make a plan, that day will be very, very fruitful. But if you just go to bed, you have no plan for tomorrow. You just wake up and you have no plan, right? You don't know what to do. You just do everything spontaneously. You just wake up, you want to take the telephone and after chat with someone and somebody calls and blah, blah, blah. And that's why always living with a goal or with a plan. If you really want to live your life more fruitful, let's say, meaningful, always we need to make a plan. Plan means, okay, tomorrow at least, for example, what am I going to do tomorrow? Tomorrow morning, I will go to work at 8 o'clock. From 8 to 10, I will just do some research and study. When I get tired, and I will just check midterm exam papers. After that, I have a lunch. After that, I will drink coffee with my friend and blah, blah. I have a plan. After in the evening, I'll go and play tennis, come back home, eat dinner, and have rest, and I teach other classes. Okay, usually actually from my childhood, I remember that especially when I started studying at high school, I always had a plan. Okay, at this time I will do this, at this time I will do this. And also somehow you have to get used to this. And at least now, if you just actually thinking that you are going to sit for, let's say, some kind of Olympiad. Now in the future, we are hoping that you're going to participate in SASMO, okay, and you're going to get a good place. And if you have a chance, you will go to Singapore and meet with other people.
And
Sometimes if you just make this kind of imagination, even this gives you a lot of motivation. Okay, after all, Jean-Claude Van Damme, actually, when I was watching one movie, he asked one question to the guy. Actually, he asked us, every human has two tigers, and good tiger and bad tiger, and they always fight against each other. All right, and they ask, Eldar, this question is for you. In every human, okay, we have good tiger and the bad tiger. They always fight. What do you think, Eldar? Who wins this fight? Good tiger or bad tiger?
I think good tiger.
Good tiger. Why?
Um, I don't know. Just everyone was saying that. Uh, I don't know.
Okay, Javid, do you have any idea? Okay, now, okay, Arad, after Javid. Javid, who do you think? Who actually wins this fight? Good
I
tiger or
think
bad tiger, or who? Which one?
I think good.
Yes, Arad.
I believe a good tiger because in all of the movies the good guy always win, except from Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, we are talking about every human in real life. Okay, not only in movies. Of course, in movies, good people always win. But actually, the answer was so meaningful and so logical. And that guy, that one time, actually, Jean-Claude says that which one actually wins this fight? Whichever, whoever, which tiger you are feeding well. Okay, are you feeding good tiger well? Then it will be the fight. If you are feeding bad tiger well, then bad tiger will win the fight. And also it is something like this. Now you have to just in the morning wake up, do your eat your breakfast, then you have to do your homework, right? Or do some math problems or read a book. That is a good tiger. And bad tiger says that, oh, Arats, now still you have a time from morning till evening, you are at home. So just lie down, have a bit more rest. Okay. Which one you are following? And that's all about this. Anyway, guys, everybody's here. Let's continue then. What are we gonna do today? Guys, 30 minutes. Now it is 9-8. Let's say 25 minutes. I am going to solve some questions to get used to these terms and terminologies here. Okay, these are that we see in our daily life situations. After that, Arad, if you try it, we are going to see some questions from that paper the last time I shared with you. Okay, then we will finish our class. And Friday we will not have any class because it's the first day of New Year. So you can have rest and spend time with your family, and whatever it is, we will continue next week. Okay. And starting next week, that means that we are going to finish chapter 6 soon, and we will start doing more revision. And also, especially at least once in 2 weeks, we are going to solve one paper. I will try. Okay. So small papers. Now, somehow we should get used to this kind of questions. So last time we were talking about simple interest. Okay, we did 2 examples just as a warm-up to refresh your memory. Let's solve this question. And after that, we will talk about compound interest. And all right, we know that actually simple interest, we use this formula. Interest is equal to PRT over 100, right? Or let me just write it capital R, also in decimal form. We can just write it as PRT. What is P? P is a principal, the amount of money that you're depositing in a bank. R is a rate, T is time. And also, how about the amount? Amount is equal to interest plus principal, or principal plus interest. Now, in this question, it says that to save money for a bookshop, Ronald invested $2,500 at 6% per annum simple interest. That means that he invested how much? It is $2,500. And the rate is 6%. 6% is 0.06, right? And the question is, how long will it take for the amount to add up to 3,400? To add up to means to grow, right? To grow to 3,400. So actually the amount, we want this money to be, what is it? $3,400. So the question is, how long does it take? Here, we need to find the time. Now, we know that just first we need to form our equation. Again, we will use algebra to solve this problem. What is amount? That is I plus P. So from here, A is equal to P plus, what is I? I is PRT, right? So from here, we need to find time. So we know how to make T the subject of the formula. Take P to the left-hand side. So I have here PRT is equal to A minus P, right? Now, if I divide both sides by PR, then T will be A minus P over P times R. Now, using this, we can actually find the time. So what is time here? Time is equal to, what is the amount? It's given. We are actually hoping that our money will grow to this amount in several years or months. We will see now here. That is 3,400. And how much we are going to invest? 2,500. So here we have 2,500 over P. Our principal is 2,500, and rate is, what is it? 6%. That is 0.06. Now from here, here we have 900 over 0, 0, the 6, that's 150, which is equal to 6 years. So that means that it takes 6 years to grow this $2,500 to 3,400 if you invest this money at the rate of 6% as simple interest. As I say here, it's not much, right? Just waiting for 6 years for 2,500 to grow to 3,400. It is, I don't know, if you have nothing to do, you can just invest in a bank. Usually, investing your money in a bank is not a good idea in general. Of course, if you have a lot of money, it's good, but small amounts, you should not expect any big amount in return. Anyway, another question. It's question 7, and after that's 8. All right, then we'll talk about compound interest. Simon wanted to borrow some money to expand his fruit shop. To expand means to make this bigger, right? Maybe expand this in size or in capital, whatever it is. He was told he could borrow a sum of money for 13 months at 12% simple interest per year and pay $1,440 in interest charges. How much money could he borrow? That means that here, how much money could he borrow, or you are borrowing or you are depositing, we call this principal, right? What is given here? Given information, what is given here? Rate is given, rate is 12%, that's equal to 0.12. And our time, it is 30 months, 30 months. Immediately we had to convert this into years. That is 30 over 12 years. That's equal to, by 6, it is 5 over 2 years. That means that 2.5 years, right? So, and also interest charge, right? He's told that it means that here, if you just imagine that you just go to the bank and you are just asking, look, I'm going to borrow some money from the bank, and I'm just going to borrow this for 30 months. And the bank agent or whoever he is or she is says that, okay, for 30 months, our simple interest rate is 12%. And after 30 months, you have to pay $1,440 as a simple interest. The simple interest is $4,440. So the question is, how much money could he borrow? What is the principal here? So we need to find the principal, right? Again, we are going to use algebra. What is our algebra equation that actually connects all of these variables? It is this one, right? Amounts minus principal, that's equal to interest, right? So we need to find a principal from here. Okay, let me just write one more time. Amount minus principal is equal to, what is interest? Interest is PRT. Okay, so if I just solve this for P, take P to the right hand side. So here we have P RT plus 1 is equal to A. Or from here, P is equal to A over 1 plus RT. That is our principle. And soon we are going to use this actually. That's very simple formula actually. It's used a lot in different situations, in different applications. So what is our amount? Do we know the amount? No. Why did I write the amount here? What do we know here? RTI, right? RTI, we need to find principal. Oh, why did I? All right, you didn't say anything. Why? Actually, we are writing everything here. We don't have to write. Since I is given, R is given, I should just write this one, right? I is equal to PRT. So we need to find T. I mean, P. What is P? P equals interest over RT. And we know the interest, that is 1,440 over, and how about rate? Rate is 0.12. And how about year? Time is 5 over 12. No, 5 over 2. 5 over 2. Okay. So now just we have to calculate this. If we calculate this, we get fraction 1440 over 0.12 times 2.5. That's equal to, P is equal to $4,800. So that means that how much money could he borrow? He could borrow $4,800. So he can use this money for 30 months, and after 30 months, he has to return this money to the bank, and plus the simple interest, that is 1,440. Javid, is everything clear?
Yeah.
And once again, Mr. Arat here, we are not only learning how to solve the problem. We are learning methods here. We have a problem. What different methods we are solving this kind of problems? That is math actually. Maybe sometime we may have one problem, and always mathematicians were so very interested to solve these problems in different ways. Different ways means that actually when you just solve this one problem, for example, let's say using trigonometry. If there any other method using different method, geometric method, numerical method. So, and also that will, if it is easier, that means it's something good news actually for other people, especially for engineers. Sometimes problems actually, when you solve this, the solution is very complicated. Even understand solution is another problem. Anyway, guys, the last example related to simple interest. To buy a car, Raymond borrowed $20,000 for 3.5 years and paid $5,880 simple interest on the loan. What rate of interest did he pay? Okay, Raymond borrowed. So what is given here? Principal is given here. Raymond borrowed $20,000. And the time is 3.5 years. 3.5 years. and paid 5,880 simple interest. So simple interest is 5,880. So what is the question here? What rate of interest did he pay? So we need to find the rate of interest. That is R, right? And again, from here, what is R? We know that P times R times T is equal to I. From here, R is equal to I over PT. And what is the interest here? 5,880 over principal 20,000. And the year, it is 3.5. That is 7 over 2, which is equal to, that is 5,880 over 20,000 times 3.5. That's equal to 0.084. So dot rate is, if you multiply by 100, that is 8.4%. Usually we just leave it as 8.4%. Also, how are you?
I'm good. You?
Thank you. So how did you join this class? What was the mistake? Or you were using the old code, old link?
Yes, the old one.
Okay, good. Yeah, because guys, as you know, I don't know, maybe you know or not, in Zoom, okay, when you make a schedule before, they allow us to make a schedule for 2 months. So actually, I made the schedule on October 26th, and after that, it just expired. When I actually renewed this, I had to use new codes, and that's why I had to change this. Now I just made a new schedule that is until mid-February. I don't know, to some unknown reason, we cannot make a schedule for a long term, like 3 months or 6 months. That's why like every 1.5 months, I have to change the link. Okay, guys, that's all. Now let's have break for 1 minute. Okay, let me just find my glasses. Somehow my eyes are so tired, and we will continue. 1 minute break. You can stay here, someone else. Okay, Mr. Arat, what is news in Azerbaijan, in Baku? Any good news? Arat, are you there or sleeping? Okay, I think he left. Okay, Eldar, are you there? Is somebody there?
I'm here.
Good, good. If somebody is there, so I can continue. Arat, what are you doing? Sleeping? Okay. So guys, now let's talk about compound interest. Okay. So in the previous case, when we are studying about simple interest, if you notice, every time when we are calculating simple interest, we calculated simple interest based on the, what is it? One principle, right? Always we are using the same principle. But sometimes we have another case here. Okay. For example, because when you just go to the bank, we have, as I told you, 3 different types of interest. Number 1 is simple interest. Second one is compound interest. Third one is continuous interest. Suppose that, again, you actually invest $100 to the bank. Okay, let's say the rate is 5%. Okay, and you just deposit this for 3 years. All right, but under one condition. All right, at the end of each period of time, at the end of each year, the bank adds your interest immediately to your account. And for the next year, they will use new amount in your account to calculate your interest. Okay. In this case, that means that every year your interest is compounded with your compounded. Actually, it's compounded means combine your principal and your interest. Okay, combine together. Then actually they calculate new interest based on the last principal. We call this actually compound interest. What happens here? And now you have P actually $100, right? And 5% and for 3 years. So at the end of the first year, what will be the interest? I mean, that is going to pay to your account. So we know that to calculate this one, our principal is $100 times rate is 0.05. And what is the period of time here? 1 year, right? Because we are calculating this at the end of the first year. So now how much do you have? You have $5, okay? But now you have new principal, okay? You have new principal. Let's say it is P1 or just P sub 0. Let's say this P1. What is the new principal? New principal is actually, that is your principal and plus now interest. So that's equal to, let's say, I1. That is what is our principal, that is $100. Now we have $5. Also, that money is yours, right? Now, actually, in your account, you have $105. So now, again, the bank assumes that now you reinvested this money, okay? At the beginning, you invested $100, but now that your money has already earned $5 and already immediately compounded to your account or to your principal. So at the end of the second year, what will be the interest? Let's say this one is I1, this one is I2. Again, it's a principal, right? What is our principal? It is $105 now, new principal, $105. And what is the rate? Rate is 0.05, 5% at the end of the second year. So we are just calculating this on based on 1 year period. So that's equal to, now what we have here, 0.05 times 105. That's equal to 5.25. Okay. So now, actually, your money earns this much during the second year. So now, how much money do you have in your account? Actually, at the beginning of the second year, you had $105, and that money has already earned some new interest. That is 5.25. Now, which is equal to, you have $110.25 in your account. Now the third year starts. Now again, today is the first day of the third year. That says 1st January. So again, what will be the interest during the third year? So again, the principal is $110.25, and the rate is 0.05 and 1 year, which is equal to 110.25 times 0.05. That's equal to 5.5125. Okay, so at the end of the third year, how much money will you have? Let's say your amount will be 110.25 plus 5.5125, which is equal to plus 110.25. That's equal to $115.765 to be exact. Okay, just calculating your interest based on these methods, we call this compound interest. Why compound interest? As you see here, at the end of each period of time, right? Period of time, we are just combining your principal and the interest. That's why actually they are compounded together, right? That's why it is called compound interest. Okay. Now the same scenario, if I just do this, okay, not using the numbers, how about in general form? What do we get here? I mean, just for now, let me just put this somewhere here. I just need a bit more bigger space. Okay. So the second case is I'm doing the same thing using the general cases. Okay, you are investing P dollars and the rate is R percent. Let's say it is R. All right. And after the time is T. Maybe if 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Okay. So the question is after 3 years, how much money you will have in your account? Okay, that means that what will be the amounts? What is amount? We know that amount is again principal, right? Original principal plus interest. Okay, so at the end of the first year, what we have here, our interest is, let's say I interest is equal to P times R times T. At the end of the first year, that's why T is equal to just 1. So that's equal to PR. Now, what is our new principal? At the end of the first year, our new principal will be, okay, let me just write here A. Okay, in general, A. So here we have, okay, A is equal to our principal plus interest, which is equal to principal plus what is our interest? It is equal to PR. So that's equal to PR. Now, if I just simplify this, take P out. So here it's equal to 1 P times 1 plus R. Okay, that means that now we have this much money in our account before we start the second year. And how about the second year? Now, again, the second year starts counting. 1st of January, 2nd of January, blah, 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 blah. Now we reach the end of the second year. That is the 31st of December. Again, the bank opens your account and again calculates what is your interest for this year. Again, that's equal to, right? That's equal to P times R times 1. What's the principal now? That is this one, right? New one. So that is P times 1 plus R. That's a principal. Times here we have R, right? And times 1. That's equal to just P times R, 1 plus R. Again, what is the amount of money in your account at the end of the second year? So that is your principal. I mean, the principal from the first year, right? That is P times 1 plus R plus I. What is I? I is equal to this. That is P times R times 1 plus R. Now from here, again, if you simplify this, as you see here, capital P and 1 plus R, that's a common factor. Take this out, capital P. Here we have 1 plus R. What is that here? Here we have 1. And here we have, what is that here? It is R. Now, as you see here, it appears, what appears here? 1 plus R, 1 plus R. So I can just write it as P times 1 plus R squared. Okay, that what is it? That is the interest earned by your money during the second year. And if I just continue the same thing, you can just try this. How about the third year and just try this? You will see that after n years, the amount of money in your principal will be something like that. The principal times 1 plus R to the power of T. So that is the amount of money in your account on compound interest after T years. And what will be the compound interest here? The compound interest will be, let's say I will be equal to, what is it? Is equal to A minus P. Because at the beginning, you just invested P dollars. At the end of this period, now you have A dollars, right? So the difference is the compound interest. Okay, that is how we get the formula. As you see here, this capital R over 100. One is as a percentage. Actually, I can just write it as a decimal. That is just small r. So that is the formula for compound interest. Guys, this is very not complicated, simple one, and you will see that that is used a lot. Yes, Arad, what's your question?
Teacher, in like number 2, the second line is equal, it wrote A is equal to P in the bracket 1 plus R plus PR. But when you take it out of the bracket, there should be still R as well.
Are you talking about this expression?
Yes.
Okay, let me
All
just
of
write
it.
this. Yes. Which one?
Why it have R? Because when you take the R out, you should take the R out as well.
Yeah, I'm taking this P times R plus R out. You see P times 1 plus R out because that's a common factor, right?
Yes, but there is PR.
Okay. Okay, all right, here, the second one, right? The second one, we have something like this. The second year, change the marker. So interest is equal to, the first expression is P times 1 plus R. Here we have P times 1 plus R. And plus, how about the second one? P times R times 1 plus R. Let me just write it as like this. P times 1 plus R times R. Now from here, what is a common factor? This thing is a common factor. If I just take this out, P times 1 plus R, okay? Let me just open here. What is left here? If you just take this out, right? What is left here? 1. And how about here? The second one, P times 1 plus R is out. What is left here? It is R. Okay, now as you see here, we have P times 1 plus R times 1 plus R, which is equal to P times 1 plus R squared. Okay, that is the actually our new principle at the end of the second year. Now again, look, if I continue, for example, at the end of the third year, how much money will we have? So again, I have to calculate this I, right? Let me just write like this. Maybe this one is I1, this one is I2. That's the second year's interest. And this one is I3. What is it? It is just P times, right? P, our principal now in our account, how much money do we have? P2 times, what is the rate? It is R. And at the end of 1 year, so that's 1 year. What is P2? P2 is equal to P times R1 plus R squared times R. So again, what is our P3 then? P3, again, the amount of money in our account at the end of the third year. How much will we have? So actually, in the at the beginning of the second year, we invested P2, right? We have in our account P2 plus now we have interest, that is I3. What is P2? P2 is P times 1 plus R squared. And how about I3? I3 is equal to P times 1 plus R squared times R. Now from here again, as you see the same thing, because here we have a pattern here. Now here we have P times 1 plus R squared, P times 1 plus R squared. Take this out. P times 1 plus R squared. Take this out. So what is left inside here? Here we have 1. And from the second term, we have R. Now here we have 1 plus R squared and times 1 plus R. That's equal to P times 1 plus R cubed. Now we can see the pattern. Usually mathematicians in the second or third step, when we are dealing with this kind of question, we cannot just continue this to infinity or to a very huge number, right? We try to find a kind of pattern. Is there any kind of pattern here? If we can see the pattern, then we should just stop. Then we can just generalize this pattern and get the formula for nth term. That means nth term means after n years. So what is it? That means that we will have this much money in our account at the end of the third year. And how about if we continue this at the end of the second year? Here we have 2. At the end of the first year, we have 1. That means that at the end of n years, we will have n. So that's why at the end of n years, if you invested your money on compound interest, the amount of money will be P times 1 plus R to the power of T. Okay, that is the amount. And to find the compound interest, what is the compound interest? Amount minus principal. Because at the beginning, you invested P dollars. After T years, your money grew to $8, right? The difference is the interest. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's just solve 2 questions, I think, for this. And after this, we will do something different. Find the compound interest on $600 for 3 years at 3.5%. Okay, let's first write the given information. What is given here? So principal is given, it is $600. And time is given, it is 3 years. And also rate is given, it is 3.5%, which is equal to 0.035, right? Percent means just divide by 100. So what is the question? The question is find the compound interest. So we need to find I. First, to find I, we need to find A, right? What is A? A is equal to P times 1 plus R to the power T, to the power of T. What is our P? That is $600. And 1 plus rate is 0.035. And for how many years? It is 3 years, which is equal to 600 times 1.035 cube. And the answer is 600 times 600 times 1.035 cubed. Okay, that's equal to 665 point. Let's write this corrected 2 decimal places. It is this. Okay. And number 2, actually, we are asked here to find the compound interest. So the compound interest is A minus P. And what is A? It is 665.23. And our principal was $600. That's equal to $65.23. That means that your money earns this much in 3 years if you invest it at this rate. Another example, find the compound interest on $1,500 for 5 years at 3% per annum. Okay, again, similar thing. Let's just write calculate what is it directly. What is the compound interest? That's equal to A minus P, right? And what is A? That is P times 1 plus R to the power of T minus P. Now from here, I can just simplify this. Okay, even we can calculate like this. What is P? 1,500 times what is R? 1 plus 3%, that is 0.03. And for how many years? 5 years. Minus what is P? 1,500. So that's it. So that's equal to 1,500 times 1.03 and to the power of 5 minus 1,500. Okay, that's equal to $238.91. Corrected 2 decimal places. It's just warm up. So the main idea is, how did we derive the formula? That is the important point. And also there are some questions, and that question is exams in the future. You will see this even in general for your future, in case, because now these days a lot of people buy houses or cars on the credit, right? They just get some credit from the bank, and the banks use this similar method to calculate this. Anyway, guys, that's the last question about compound interest, and I will finish this part for today. And let's practice some different questions. So find the compound interest on $2,500 for 1 year at 4% per annum compounded monthly. Okay. Now the rate is given per annum, right? And the principal, but 1 year. But actually it is compounded monthly. At the end of each month, actually they compounded your interest to your principal. At that time, how do we actually make adjustment to our formula, right? Actually, we will just make adjustment like this. A equals P. We have nothing to do with P. And 1 plus R. And here we have T, right? Here, 2 things are subject to change here. Number 1 is the period of time, right? Number 2 is R. So actually, logically, if you are offering 4% per annum, right? The rate is 4% per annum, right? If I want to use the same rate but for monthly rates, how would you actually make adjustment to this rate? And simply we just divide this by 12, right? Because monthly, that means that in 1 year we have 12 months. If for 1 year, if you're offering, like, let's say your rate is 12% per year, right? At the time, if you want to calculate this monthly, what will be the new rate? New rate should be 1%. 12 is divided by 12, that is 1%. Maybe also you can make some different adjustment, but that is the most logical one. So also actually our rate is, we are dividing this into n here. So actually this t, how many times is it compounded? We should multiply by n, right? Because here 1 year means in 1 year, how many months do we have? Now we have 12 months. That means that during the period of 1 year, your interest is compounded 12 times, not only one time. Because here in the power, it shows how many times is it compounded. And this r over n, that is a rate. That is how we make adjustment. And also in similar way, how about daily? How about if you want the bank to calculate your interest every day? And how about quarterly or semi-annually? Okay, we can just go deeper. How about every minute? How about every second? At the time here, if you just look at this 1 plus, here we have something alpha, and to the power of 1 over alpha, for example, here, actually as alpha gets bigger and bigger, you will see that this will get very close to this number, 2.71, very close, which is approximately equal to number E. And that's why in bank, actually, when they calculate continuous interest, they use this formula. A is equal to P times E to the power R and T. Okay, that is a continuous. This is not actually our topic right now, but in the future you will see this. And also continuous interest is derived from this method. Okay, guys, let's get back to this question. That's how we make adjustment. And to answer this question, find the compound interest on 2,500 for 1 year. So first, let's find the amount. The amount is equal to principal. Our principal is 2,500 times 1 plus, what is the rate? 4%. That is 0.04. And compounded per annum, how many times? 12 times. That's why I should divide this by 12. And here we have 1 year. And how many times? This one 12 times. So also here I should multiply by 12 because actually your interest is compounded 12 times a year. So that will be the amount, which is equal to 2,500 times, here we have 1 plus fraction 0.04 is divided by 12 and close the bracket to the power of 12. That's equal to $2,601.85. Now to find this interest is equal to A minus P. A is 2,601.85 minus, and P is, what is it? P is 2,500, which is equal to $101.85. Okay, Mr. Ara, Javid, also Eldar, and we have one more student here, Narmin. Guys, do you have any questions regarding this? If you didn't understand, or of course at first you may not understand, but if you're interested, you may try yourself how we got this compound interest, what does it mean? At the time you understand more. Guys, any question?
No.
So Arat, last time I shared the paper, did you try any questions?
I really tried to print it, but I had problem with my printer. I will like fix it until tomorrow, maybe.
Okay, how many minutes do we have? 48. That's 48. Let's do like this then. That paper, Narmin, are you in WhatsApp group?
Yes, I am.
Good. Then have a look and try those questions maybe next Tuesday, because Friday we don't have class. Okay, next Tuesday we may actually discuss those questions. It will be revision. Now we have only 10 minutes left. Let's talk about something else and I will finish today's class. Okay, so another thing that we use in our daily life situation is hire purchase. Maybe you have seen this a lot in Baku or Azerbaijan, I don't know, but maybe even you may not notice this. But these days, this kind of purchase is very, very popular, okay, in a lot of countries, especially in developed countries and the countries who have strong economy. Strong economy means people have uh, what is a stable salary income, right? When you have stable income or salary, that means that companies may trust you, can trust you. Otherwise, if you do not have stable salary, companies cannot trust you, then you cannot buy things on higher purchase. What is higher purchase? As you see here, let's say you see this ad, actually advertisement on the window of one shop, for example. Let's say furniture shop. It says for sale 4,500, $1,000 deposit, balance 7%, 2 years. Eldar, what do you understand from this ad? Do you understand anything? If yes, what is it? If not, why not?
This is like when you uh
Narmin, how about you? Would you like to give some comment, feedback? What do you understand from this ad?
Like you buy all of this for yourself. Like you buy it and then you pay every month. Like you take it, but you pay every month for 2 years, like 100 manat or like dollars or.
Okay, good. Javed, would you like to say something? All right, guys. Anyway, good. But here, yes, Aras, let's also listen to you. After that, you'll continue.
It said that at first it's all 4,500. First, it's like you should give it monthly. So first you have to give 1,000 deposit at the start. Then the other 3,500. There will come 7% on it. It means you'll have 7% more than 3,500 in 2 years. Then you decide it be yearly or monthly. But
Okay.
it's still more expensive than the, like, if you give all of it at the same time, because it's 7% more.
Okay, good. All right, good. As you saw more and more questions, you will understand exactly what they mean. Sometimes, we see a table or this kind of advertisement on the windows. If you did not study business or this kind of things, it's really hard to understand. So that means that actually, when you look at this, how we understand this, number one, it means that this company is offering two options, right? Number one is cash. Number two is no cash. And this for sale $4,500 means if you pay cash, you just pay cash $4,500 and take the furniture home. That is yours. And the second option is saying that if you do not have cash or if you do not want to pay in cash, then now you should pay $1,000 deposit and you can take the furniture home. Okay, you can use it. And the rest, as I said, $4,500, you already cleared how much? $1,000. So how much more do you have to pay? $3,500, right? You are supposed to pay, but you are not paying this amount in cash. That means that the company may lose some money, okay? And company gets that money maybe from the bank, okay? And they have to pay that 7% if they take this money as a loan from the bank. The company compares, okay, all right, anyway, I need money. Okay, but my customer doesn't have cash. I will get this money from the bank and that interest I will get from my customer. But how? Over the 2 years of time, okay? That's why you say that, okay, if I just say, Arat, now extra, you have to pay $200. You may say that, oh, it is too much, I don't want to pay. But if I say that every month you will pay me $10, you say, oh, it's not much, right? And that's why now if you want to buy iPhone, let's say it is $1,200, paying $1,200, it is a lot. But if I tell you, okay, not $1,500, every month, just pay me $55. But you have to pay $55 for 2 years. Okay, that $5 actually, that's my profit every month. Now, a lot of people do this kind of business because a lot of people, they have cash money, but a lot of people, they don't have cash money, right? And they just buy something and give to other people and collect the money every month. Actually, in general, it is this kind of purchase, okay? Selling things on these terms. Anyway, that is what it means. If you do not have cash, now pay $1,000 and take the furniture home, and the rest $3,500. What is it? $3,500. Now here, let's say it is our principal, okay? So within these 2 years, you have to pay this money and plus 7%. So what is interest? Plus also you have to pay this interest. That is equal to 3,500 times 7%. That is 7 times for 2 years over 100, which is equal to 0, 0 cancel each other, 7, that's equal to 490. Okay, but of course, when are you going to pay this? Usually you have to pay this at the end of each month, okay, because they trust you, you have a stable income. When you get your salary, the company says that at the end of each month you have to pay how much? Now you have to pay 3,500 plus interest 490 over what period of time? This, it says 2 years, right? In 2 years, how many months do we have? We have 24 months. So every month, how much do you have to pay? So it's 3,500 plus 490, and you should divide this by 24. We get 166.25. Every month you have to pay this. What do we call this? We call this monthly installments. Okay, and you say that, okay, instead of paying $3,500 every month, I can pay this for 2 years. Usually, who actually live on their income, and they cannot pay a big amount of cash, and that's why they have to buy on higher purchase. Okay, guys, that's all for today. Thank you very much. I wish all of you a very, very happy new year. Please enjoy the Thursday and Friday. Friday, we will not have class. I will meet you next Tuesday. Okay.
Okay, bye, Mr. Hassan.
Yeah, thank you very much. See you next Tuesday. See you next year. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye
Thank
and
you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.